I was over in Southeast Asia recently where a woman had an incredible encounter with Jesus Christ. When I called out from the platform that there was somebody here struggling with some type of stomach issue, I said, you are going to begin to feel a heat and an electricity in your stomach. It's going to get very, very warm, and you're going to know that your stomach disease is being healed. This woman knew that she was the one I was talking about. I began to pray for her, and as I prayed for her, a woman who was in a different religion gave her life to Jesus Christ and said, Jesus, if this is you, I want it. In that moment, she was completely touched and transformed, and this melting, oily sensation flowed all over her stomach. The woman went home that night and began to talk to her family, telling of what had happened at the meeting. Well, they were of a different religion, and so the husband said, what's happened? And she said, I went to this meeting where this man from the United States told me about this man named Jesus who loves me and who wants a plan for my life. I believed him and I said, if this is you and this is real, then Jesus, please touch me now. I believe that he did. And she took off her garments, and when she did, realized that her stomach had completely shrunk. She had a rare disease that caused her stomach to be very expanded, and it wasn't obesity related. It was related to this disease. As her stomach shrunk, the man said, what has happened to you? She said, it was just from the meeting I went to. The man said, this is outrageous. This is terrible. I can't believe you brought such blasphemy onto our family. And as this was happening, the children came running around the corner and said, Mama, Mama, your stomach is small. Your stomach is small, Mama. The man was freaking out, terrified. And the woman said, all I know is that at this meeting, that the man said, Jesus wanted to touch me. All I know is my stomach was enlarged and now it's not. I believe that I've been healed and that this man is real. The next night, she brought her entire family to the gospel campaign meeting. When she did, their whole family gave their lives to Jesus. Hello to all our friends, family, partners from around the world. This is Evangelist Caleb Wampler coming to you from Costa Rica. We've been having some amazing services here in the area, but I wanted to tell you about a spiritual thought that's been on my mind of late. Recently, I was in the state of California in the United States, and a woman approached me at the altar area, and she wanted to tell me about some of the things that had been going on in her life. She said, can I talk to you for a second? I said, well, sure, go ahead. I said, what's going on? She said, well, recently I've been having lots of different issues. You see, I want to come to the Lord and I want to begin to spend time with him, but I've had a few things that I need to get figured out in my life first. I said, okay, well, what's going on? She said, well, the first thing is we've been struggling financially. I've had a lot of issues going on. There's been a lot of financial pressure on our family, but I'm actually in line for a promotion at work. I said, okay. She said, so I know if I just concentrate on the promotion at work and I begin spending lots of time and at work and working some overtime and showing myself approved for my job, then I'm going to eventually get this promotion in the next couple of months, and then our finances are going to start to turn around. We won't have so much pressure on us. I said, okay. She goes, well, then the second area is my health. You know, I've had a lot of health issues of late. I've gained a lot of extra weight. I've been very stressed because of the finances, and so then it's caused me to start eating improperly. So I haven't been going to the gym very much, and so I know that if I just focus on my health, I start going to the gym and eating healthy foods, and it's going to do wonders for my body, and then eventually I'll be able to start getting a little bit more time with the Lord, because then the finances will be in order and the health will be in order. And I said, okay, what else is going on? She said, well, the third thing is it's all about this relationship I've been having with my family. There's been lots of bitterness and unforgiveness, and it's really emphasizing with my daughter. I've had lots of issues with her, and I just really need to make things right with her. But I know if I can just get that figured out, all the stress from that will go away. I'll be a little bit more loving of a person. I'll be able to forgive her, and I'll be able to move on with my life. It'll be great. And after I get all these things taken care of, then I'll have time to spend time with Jesus. I know as soon as that happens, my entire life is going to turn around. She wanted me to pray for her, and I looked her in the eye and I said, ma'am, I know this may sound offensive to you, but I'm not going to pray for you. She's like, what do you mean? I said, can I just help you for a second? She said, sure, what's going on? I said, well, this really just sounds like this whole upside down pyramid kind of thing. I said, you kind of have all your issues going on in your life. You know, you've got all the financial issues, you've got all the health issues, you've got the unforgiveness with the family, and then at the very, very, very top, you got a little bit of time for Jesus. And I said, you just need to like turn this whole thing upside down. Run to Jesus first, and when you do, He's going to begin to take care of and start to help you in all the other areas of your life. I said, run to Jesus and watch Him turn your life upside down. She looked at me a little bit dumbfounded and said, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. I think I can do that. And she walked away happily. I think many times in our lives, we deal with issues just like this woman has. We think we need to get ourselves cleaned up before we run to the cross. We need to get ourselves figured out, and then we'll have time for church and God and religion and all these types of things, when really, in all reality, what we really need to do is we need to run to the King first. Matthew 6:33 says, but seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you as well. What are all these things? What is this kingdom that we're supposed to be seeking? Everything that we ever possibly could have imagined is actually found in Jesus. What happens is when we look at our problems, we emphasize all the issues and all the things that we're dealing with in our lives. We become so consumed with what's right in front of us that we can't actually see what's on the other side. Many times God is painting a beautiful masterpiece in our lives. He's beginning to paint out and work out details and ways we never could have imagined, but all we see is like a maze where there's a giant wall in front of us, when if we were to look up from an aerial view, we would see the beauty and the masterpiece that He's creating all around us. You see, when we're focused on our problems and focused on our issues, we're doing everything except for seeking first the kingdom of God and His righteousness. When we run to the kingdom, and more importantly, its King, all of these things will begin to just work themselves out for you. I often will love to illustrate this in services when I teach people on prayer and listening. You know, sometimes we think with all of the things we have going on in our life that we have to figure our way out through life. But oftentimes when I teach on prayer and teach on listening to people, you don't realize that God actually wants to have a relationship with you and speak to you about the things in your life. Just as an exercise, even while you're watching this video right now, unless you're driving down the road, I encourage you to close your eyes for just a second. And I want you to think about this. Think of the 100 most important priorities you have in your life. Maybe you want to go on that vacation. Maybe you want to take your spouse out for a date night. Maybe you want to go get that dinner or pay the mortgage or the rent. Maybe you need to get around to the water bill, or maybe you've been wanting to take your kids to Disney World. I don't know what it is for you. I don't know what your 100 priorities are. But think through that list. What are your 100 top priorities? Do you realize that Jesus cares about all of those 100 priorities more than you do? And He actually knows the correct order. If you would run first to Jesus and seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, my friends, all these things would be added to you as well. And perhaps you would see the masterpiece He's painting right now in your life. This is Evangelist Caleb Wampler from Costa Rica. God bless you.